Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Melanie. I wanted to pop on here and chit chat about the grow season I've been having and see if anyone out there relates, but I'm not stoked about the grow season this year. I live in the Okanagan Valley, so currently it looks very apocalyptic out here because most of British Columbia is on fire. We have insane forest fires in West Kelowna, there's fires near Revelstoke, there's fires in Salmon Arm. BC is just no stranger to a good fire season. But something about this year, it's a bit heavier on my heart than normal. The smoke has been just unrelenting. So it's been draining, tiring. Lack of oxygen will have that effect on you. This garden season has been hard. First of all, I think it's just fair to say that I don't have as much oomph right now. It's a lot of work, it's really hot. There's only 2 of us here. I've started to question a lot of my whys, which I've shared with you guys before. But yeah, it's just been like a slower, rougher, weird year, energetically speaking. In my personal life, I've had different directions and different opportunities come up, so I've been trying to navigate career moves and education moves and business moves on top of our homesteading endeavors, which has always been an interesting relationship for me because I do YouTube and we host events on the property, so there's always just lots of different aspects that are connected. So maybe my focus hasn't been on homesteading as much as it has in the past. And there's been crops this year that I'm used to getting really good yields off of and harvests off of that have really struggled, so it's been disorienting. Of course, weather is a factor, a big one in that as well. We've had on and off fire events happening all over the province. We have had It was a weird spring, things were delayed. I brought in different compost that had different kind of properties than I was expecting, and I think that has caused a few of my beds to struggle. I've tried different varieties that I thought would perform better than they have, and they were underperforming. I put crops in completely different areas of our garden that we've ever put them before. So there's been a lot of A/B testing, and not a lot of wins this year, to be honest. I've had normal harvests or bad harvests. I've not had any crazy bumper crops or anything really exciting and new work out really well for us yet. So it's been a hard year, and I think just being transparent about that is the only thing I know how to do right now, because I'm not out here having the best August ever in the garden, harvesting all of the wonderful things. I'm just out here doing maintenance, doing the best that I can, and harvesting some Alaskan bloom potatoes today, which appear to be mediocre. Harvest Bloom is a variety I started with this year for the first time. I planted them in these 5 containers that I've grown potatoes in before, and I've gotten 1 bin emptied out, and it looks like we have like maybe 20 potatoes. It is a white potato with like a pink coloring around the eyes of the potatoes. I just wanted to bring you guys out here, catch you up a little bit on the type of season we've been having. Maybe people out there are experiencing some of the same things we have been. Just weird delays. Like, I've never had plants become so stunted like I've had this year. Never had things like summer squash, like zucchinis. How easy is it to grow zucchinis? I've gotten like 3 zucchinis this whole season. It's just bizarre. Of course, there are lessons and learning curves in all of this as well. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but this is also kind of just part of the reality, is that I don't have anything crazy exciting to share with you guys right now, because this grow season has just been kind of, I won't say, like, maybe a bit anticlimactic. That's probably the best way to put it. Maybe it's because I've been growing here now for 4 years and some of the excitement has worn off, but that doesn't feel quite right, because I usually get excited about harvesting potatoes. But I do think that there's just a bit of a different flavor in the season for me. I'm not giving up, I'm not stopping, I'm not changing anything like that, but it just felt like an appropriate thing to discuss on YouTube because often we get the highlight reel, and well, harvesting potatoes is a highlight for me. This isn't the crazy potato harvest maybe I had dreamt of, or could potentially be with more honed skill. I'm not sure the effect that the smoke has on plants. I know that some of my summer squash have gotten things like powdery mildew, which is something we don't usually struggle with here because it's quite arid and dry. We don't have high humidity, but I think some of this smoke holds in the dew and kind of keeps the circulation of fresh air to a minimum, obviously, because it's smoky. And I'm thinking maybe that has contributed to things like powdery mildew. There's a certain type of beetle that I've never seen before. Well, that's not true. I've seen it before, but I've never seen this many of them. And they are all over this year. They don't appear to eat the plants at all, but they definitely are in high quantity. I've suffered some losses, quite a few losses this year to things like chipmunks and voles and just pest pressure to a volume that I've never experienced before. I've lost 2 beds of beets and carrots to the point where one of those garden beds has absolutely nothing in it other than a sage plant, so that was disheartening. It's just not been one of those overly abundant grow seasons. I did a lot of content early on in the spring where you guys probably got a chance to see a bit more of my excitement. And I amended a lot of my garden beds with some compost that my partner brought in for me. And those beds have actually produced the least, which is bizarre. So now I'm wondering if the compost I brought in had, I don't know, some kind of toxin or leaching or something, but it turns out the beds I amended with that compost were the beds that got all of the carrots and the beets eaten out of them. It's the bed that I amended underneath a really big spruce tree where nothing has grown. Like actually nothing has grown in that bed. I've even lost a blueberry bush that was in that garden bed after amending it with compost. So I don't know. I don't know what that is about. I don't know if the pests attacked those beds by fluke, or if because those plants maybe were weaker because they were not getting the proper nutrients. So there's a compost question that's stirring around in my brain. We are experiencing drought-like conditions, forest fires. The plants and watering them has been harder this year than normal. It's just been a peculiar year, and I don't want this video to be a downer and be like, hey, everything sucks, because I'm still enjoying the summer. I'm enjoying gardening. I'm getting enough food to make it worth it. I'm just also wanting to not leave this type of experience out because I love homesteading and I fall prey to sharing highlight reel experiences and vlogs and YouTube videos just as much as anyone else does, and I also have days like this where I'm just plugging away in the dust and the smoke getting a mediocre potato harvest, and it's just part of it. So this video might be short. August's haul might not be the bright green, vibrant, abundant video that I want it to be, but this is what it looks like right now. On a very positive note this season, we did have an incredible chicken harvest. Our meat birds that we had going, we did just your classic Cornish cross meat bird. The final product that we ended up with was incredible. The chicken, individual size of the chickens was a lot larger. The meat looks incredible in comparison to last year. We had a lot of lessons learned. I had a better spot to have them on pasture. Our feed costs were lower. Overall, our whole butcher day went a lot faster. So our meat birds this season have been, that was like such a positive experience. So I guess you have to look at the larger homestead experience, right? Like, while aspects of the garden have suffered this year and have been less productive than ideal, we've had other wins, we've had other projects and progress happen, like our meat birds, like progress on the cottage. Mom and I are both endeavoring for multiple different business endeavors and adventures, different online marketing strategies, more content, different content, different channels. So there's been a lot of positive. It's just interesting to watch things evolve and change, I guess, is the moral of this discussion, is that you have to be okay with things evolving and changing. And each year, as much as you know that each year is not going to be the same, like, you know that, I know that. That's nothing new to any of us here. It's just, I guess, a weird reminder to have to roll with the punches and just how different things can be. There you have it, our Alaskan bloom harvest. This is how much I got out of 5 planters for our potatoes. We have a whole potato bed, and this was just for some smaller salad-style potatoes, early potatoes, so it's an alright harvest. I'm excited to give this variety a try. They're super cute, fairly uniform in size, obviously a bit small, and not as many as I would like, but happy nonetheless. Alright guys, thank you for hanging out with me in the garden today. I know that it's a bit of a weird video, it's a bit sad, it's a bit low vibes, but also, it's just kind of part of the cyclical nature of homesteading, gardening, and being human. This is part of it. You get those exciting weeks where you have a lot to harvest and a lot going on. You get those seasons of celebration, and you also just get the mundane, monotonous, dusty, dirty coasting days, and that's today. Or this week, I should say. I hope that this is in some way encouraging to you all so that you can realize and hopefully know that if you're struggling this grow season, or if things aren't working out the way you wanted them to, that you are not alone. As always, I will see you all back here very shortly with another video. May the force be with you. Bye-bye for now.